Okay, thank you everybody for your patience with the technology. And we are now going to call the Health and Human Development Committee to order. It's 9:04 a.m. And so, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Alderman Vollmer,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Schweitzer, Alderwoman Sanye,
Present.
Chair Boyd,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Schweitzer. We have 3 present. We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. I'm asking for approval of the minutes for Thursday, March the 7th.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Vollmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Schweitzer, Alderwoman Sanye,
Aye.
Chair Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Schweitzer. We have 3 aye votes.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on any of the board bills?
We should have at least 2. One gentleman called me this morning. He was already downtown, and one should be on our Zoom link. And she just texted that she was having difficulty getting in.
I think Anicia is here. Miss
No,
Stover
this-
is here. Is somebody else?
Right, it's Michael Ellerman. And the other person is Allie Connell. And she was having difficulty. She said that the Zoom link wasn't letting her in.
And they did work on it. So could you see if Alderwoman Alderwoman Keys, if she could try again to get in?
Sure, I'll do that.
Look, it's too many Alderwomans. And so we can see if she can get in. So we have how many speakers, Ms. Clerk?
We only have 1 guest speaker, which is Annalise
Right.
Stouffer.
I see Annalise. She keep raising her hand. I see you.
I'm here.
And so what board bill are you speaking on, both or one?
One, Board Bill 205.
Okay, all right. So what we can do is we can swear you in, get you sworn in to get that. Madam Clerk, could you swear her in while Alderwoman Keys is trying to get the other person?
Sure. Ms. Stover, do you affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this cause is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All righty. So we're waiting on Alderwoman Keys to get back so she can introduce her bill. And then maybe, I don't want to jump the gun with her. I want to give her the opportunity to do what she's trying to do.
Are these speakers that she's waiting to get on, they're not guest speakers, they're just giving public testimony, or that's what I'm trying to,
Okay, there,
These are public testimonies.
okay.
I have 2.
okay.
Okay,
So
so I just sent one another link, and I'm checking on the other because I think he actually went downtown.
So out here on attendees, we had a Stephen A. And then we have a DEAUNZZE. Are those any of your people, Alderwoman Keys?
No, it should be Michael Ellerman. And let me check on him. Hold on.
All right. Thank you all for your patience. Madam Clerk, do we have any written testimony?
Did not see any in the drive.
Okay. I'm just trying to cover all bases. My vice chair will keep me on point.
Well, hopefully you'll be like the Cardinals will be on all the bases today.
I know. And you know what? They did not leave any calendars. That was weird.
Okay, one of my persons who's giving a public comment, he is downtown at the Kennedy Room. He said he's standing there, it's locked. Is there any way that he could be put in front of a computer? He doesn't have the ability to do this on his phone.
Yes, Sharita was gonna go over and handle it.
Thank you so much. Okay,
Okay, so they're on their way to get him to try to find a computer over here to set him up for.
Okay, so Alderwoman Keys, do you
so
want
my
to?
other caller said that she has not been able to get connected. She wants to know if she can call in.
What is the gentleman name that is over in?
Michael Ellerman, he's about 6'8".
Michael Ellerman.
Uh-huh. She
Did
can't
she
miss
try-
it.
Okay. Did she try logging on from her phone?
Yeah, she tried on the phone and then she went to her laptop.
Did she close out and then reboot it back up?
I can ask.
Yeah, ask her to close out, because that's what I had to do. I had to close out and then reboot it. And then it finally prompt up.
And Miss Keys, yes, they will have to show their face to give the public testimony.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Or she can submit it by email if she wanted to.
Okay. Okay, so I just sent that over to her. All righty.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Mr. Ellis over here now. They're setting him up now. He should be on momentarily.
Okay. Alderwoman Keys, do you want to begin with Board Bill 205?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Madam Chair. And if I could please have our clerk to read the summary.
Board Bill number 205, introduced by Alderwoman Laura Keys, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing the Director of the Department of Human Services on behalf of the City of St. Louis to accept a grant award from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services in the amount of $305,000 to increase meal production capacity and infrastructure for the nutrition program, appropriating said funds and authorizing the Director of the Department of Human Services to expend such funds as permitted by the grant agreement and containing an emergency clause.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're on, Alderwoman Keys.
All righty. So as y'all have heard, this is a grant that our area agency on aging will be receiving. I'm so excited for them. I had the great opportunity to see Annalise and her team in action during the tragedy at Heritage House back in January, and they have gone all the way through this process, and we're still working on just a few more of those residents to get them housed. And so this is truly, truly needed. It takes quite a bit to support our residents, and so they have truly done this in a very beautiful way. And Annalise, personally, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it was truly a joy to work with you on this.
Thank you, Alderwoman Keys.
Oh, okay, and so, and on that note, I'll take any questions that we have from the committee.
I have a brief statement. Is it okay if I read?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Annalisa Stover. I'm the director of the St. Louis Area Agency on Aging. We're part of the Department of Human Services, part of the City of St. Louis. Thank you for this opportunity to talk to you this morning about our services and about the Meal Expansion Initiative, Board Bill 205. I just wanted to give a brief overview of our services. We do provide our services to older adults living in the city across the city, north, south, east, west. We have senior centers in neighborhoods, and we provide case management, benefits assistance, meals on wheels, transportation, health and wellness classes like Tai Chi and Walk with Ease, benefits assistance services, legal services, and much more. We would welcome the opportunity to come to any neighborhood meetings and to talk to residents about the services that we provide. In terms of Board Bill 205, we are asking for approval to accept the funds from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. This grant in the amount of $305,000 would be used for current meal providers to purchase much needed kitchen equipment like commercial stoves, additional freezers, generators, and other necessary equipment to improve the senior nutrition program, which they then would be reimbursed for those expenses. By June 30th, 2024, the kitchen equipment will be purchased. This one-time funding from the Department of Health and Senior Services was received with the purpose of increasing meal production and infrastructure across the state. We are one of 10 area agencies on aging that received a grant award. Currently in February 2024, our senior centers provided 2,411 clients with over 45,000 home delivered meals. So last month alone, we provided more than 45,000 meals. And our senior centers also provided in February 2024 an additional 387 clients with a hot meal at the senior centers, serving over 1,400 hot lunchtime meals. This kitchen equipment would allow the existing meal sites to improve their infrastructure and even increase the meals that they're able to serve. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, so, does any, board member, any committee members have anything to say? Thank you, Annalise.
Thank
No
you.
questions, no comments. Thank you very much for all you do, and it's always good to get this money to help things out here.
Thank you, Alderman Vollmer.
Okay, Alderwoman Saunier.
Same, I don't have any questions. Just, thank you for all of you all's work, and thank you, Alderwoman Keys, for your work on this.
Okay, thank you all thank you for your organization and what they're doing in our community. So do we have anybody else to speak on this? No, you're on mute, Alderwoman Keys.
No, I don't have anyone to speak on this.
Okay, and so at this time, I would like to ask for a motion to accept Board Bill 205.
So
I'll
moved.
make a second. Can we
Okay,
do previous row?
okay, so we have previous roles, so we're moving to the next thing. So Alderwoman Keys, you're up, you have Board Bill 232.
All right,
Thank you.
again, thanks. Good to see you again, Annalisa.
Good to see you.
So the next board bill, if I could please ask our wonderful, beautiful clerk to read the summary.
Thank you. Board Bill number 232, introduced by Alderwoman Laura Keys, an ordinance directing the Director of City's Department of Health, Chief of the St. Louis Fire Department, and Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Department to implement a program for a parent to deliver an infant to the care of the state, anonymously and without fear of persecution, as provided in Missouri's Safe Place for Newborns Act, Chapter 170.312 and 210.950 of the Revised Statute of Missouri, and to designate engine houses and area patrol stations as locations for receiving infants pursuant to the New Safe Place for Newborn Act, and designating Fire Department Engine House number 17 as such a location and containing an effective date.
Thank you.
Okay, Alderwoman Keys, you're on.
All righty. So as you all know, fire stations are already safe havens. But part of the problem may be that, particularly now, since we do not have the benefit of Roe v. Wade, is there may be a concern that, if this is a child that, you've birthed and you choose not to parent that child, that, there would be a situation where a child would be discarded in ways that are not safe or healthy. So with the baby box bill, this idea was floated to me quite some time ago by the gentleman who is
Yes,
on the
please.
call, Michael Ellerman. And so he is here as a guest to talk about the baby board bill as well. So what we're hoping, and I have discussed this with Mr. Charles Coyle, Director of Public Safety, as well as our fire chief, and they are in support of this. And so with that, I will yield and let the our Madam Chair take the wheel.
Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, could you please swear him in?
Sure. Mr. Ellerman, could you please
Yes.
raise your right hand for me? I can't see you. There we go. Mr. Ellerman, do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this cause is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Okay, Mr. Ellerman, you could speak.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm here today to ask the committee for their support. I realize that Melville's Fire Department has a safe haven baby box, and I thought it would be really good to have one in the 11th Ward. So I spoke to my alderwoman, Laura Keys, and suggested that we have one here, and that we could really use one in the city. I have a friend who was, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a retired teacher, and I live in the 11th Ward. I also have 16 grandchildren. And so babies are real important to me. I like babies, and I want to save babies. And so I had a friend who was a police officer in the city of St. Louis. His name was Craig Franklin. I don't know if you knew him. He died of pancreatic cancer a few years back. But as a police officer, he would find babies put in dumpsters, and he found one baby stuffed in a sewer. And I just feel that it's real important to have an alternative for mothers in the city of St. Louis, in the 11th Ward, to safely surrender a baby without any repercussions, and then someone can adopt that baby. And so I'm all for babies, and would appreciate that the committee supports it and presents it to the whole Board of Aldermen. And I'd be glad to answer any questions. I brought the handouts, but I didn't realize everybody would be on Zoom. I got all dressed up with a tie and everything, thinking that there would be other people here. And I knew Laura was going to be on Zoom, but anyway, I'd be glad to answer any questions that you might have about it.
You could give the clerk your handouts, and so she'll put them in the committee's box. So we
Okay.
appreciate that. Yes, sir.
All right, will
And then
do.
you look nice in your tie, so we want you to know you dressed.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And so, at this time, I would ask, does any committee members have any questions? Alderman Balmer?
No questions. It's a shame that this is a necessity, but I appreciate your passion for this, Mr. Ellerman, and I believe that it's something that is unfortunately that we have to have prepared for and to help these people out. So thank you for your passion for this again, and that's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Alderwoman Sonia?
Same, no questions, just thank you for your work. I would just echo the sentiments of Alderman Balmer.
Okay, my thing, because I'm seeing engine number 17, so it'll go into only one firehouse?
So what I want to do, and you know, if we need to, you know, and I'm not sure of the process, I really believe that there should be one of these in at least one in every ward in our city. There are 14 wards, there should be 14 of these boxes. You know, again, to go back to Roe v. Wade, we know that there will be unwanted pregnancies, you know, due to whatever the circumstance, you know, be it rape, incest, you know, or just, you know, unfortunately you got pregnant. But what we know that we don't want is for children to be put in a vulnerable, well, they're already vulnerable, but to be put in an unsafe situation because a mother feels like she doesn't have any other way to see that this child is cared for if she chooses not to parent.
Okay, and so when I saw this, I thought of Chicago Fire. Because this came out like last year, this episode about this, ironically, and they thought that nobody would utilize it, and ironically, in the program, somebody left a baby in the box. And so it kind of blew them away because they just thought nobody would utilize it. And so I guess my other thing, because I love the concept, but I guess my other piece is where will the dollars come from so we can make sure that we support this? I mean, so we can finance it, because I don't want you to have this bill and then we don't have the dollars. You know, it's no dollars there to support that.
Right. So there are a couple of things. So I have talked with Director Coyle, and even our fire chief has talked about assisting to raise money, but those are things that are kind of out there. And so, but we do have a benefactor on the line, Elisa Connolly. And so she has just amazingly and so beautifully offered to pay for the first I think she offered 1 or 2 baby boxes, but she can tell you for herself. She is in the waiting room.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Madam Clerk, could you let her in and swear her in? And this is a great, fantastic bill. I would like to be a co-sponsor of it.
Excellent.
And is this person Elisa Connolly, you said?
Elisa Connolly.
Yeah, I'm trying to move her over. It's not even allowing me to, so give me one moment.
Okay.
So STL TV, can you move her over, please?
We doomed if we don't have it, and we're double doomed if we do. Technology.
Well, while they're waiting,
It said,
I-
make yourself. They said, please make myself an or.
Yes, Sharita and myself, they didn't make me a co-host. That's why I'm unable to move or do anything.
Okay. Go ahead, Alderwoman Keys. I'm sorry.
so what I was going to say is that I'm sure there's a process, and I said this to Elisa when she first contacted me about paying for a baby box or 2, is that I'm sure that the city has some process for taking such a donation. So we'll have to definitely explore how that could happen for us. But again, Mr. Coyle is looking to how we can get this funded. And then maybe there needs to be further discussion around, is this something that every ward should have? I certainly would love to see it be done that way.
I could speak to the donation part of it, Laura, if that's all right.
Sure.
A donation can be made directly to Safe Haven Baby Boxes. And then it provides for the money for it without it going through the city, and which may be convenient.
Mhm. Great, thank you. Thank you for the information.
How many members of the committee are there? How many packets should I leave of information?
You just need to do 6.
Okay, I've got that many.
Thank you for the information.
How many members of the committee?
Did we work it out for her?
Yes, she just accepted. So she
Okay.
should become, no, she declined, actually. So let's see what's going on. I don't know why she did decline, but I'm gonna
May have
try.
gotten knocked off.
Hello? Am I there?
Oh, there she is.
Okay, there she is. Yes, Miss Connolly, can you show your face? Because we
I
can't see.
can. Give me 1 second.
Okay,
See.
there you go.
Okay, I got it. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
Morning.
My apologies to all of you for trying to figure out this system. Unfortunately, my assistant that I survived by is on spring break with their children,
No
and I'm
problem.
left to fend for myself.
Could you raise your
Sure.
right hand for me? You're going to
I
swear
sure
you in.
can.
Miss Connolly, do you affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this cause is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Okay, Ms. Connolly, we're asking you to speak in regards to Board Bill 232.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Good morning to you all. Can I be heard okay? Can everyone hear me? I was trying to turn up my volume.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Okay,
we'll
perfect.
tell your assistant that you did well without her.
I'll tell you. I appreciate it. We'll see how the rest of the day goes, though. Yes, I would like to mirror Mr. Ellerman, a person that we've never met. I've never met, but yes, these baby boxes actually are very important to our community as resources are being taken away and deduced for many reasons out of from what's going on. But the placement of these boxes are just a lifeline, not only for the babies, but for their mothers as well. And that's why I actually contacted Alderwoman Keys once I saw this bill introduced and said, yes, I am a big supporter of this organization as well as this resource. And I would like to fund the baby box that comes into the city of St. Louis, the first one, and then also those leading up after it, and find some type of financial support and resources for it.
Okay.
And if I can just interrupt, and I would really like for Ms. Connolly to kind of tell us who she is.
So
Took the
I am
words
actually,
out of my mouth. I was gonna say, well, who are you? You don't have an assistant. That's all we know.
so I am a community advocate. I do a lot of projects within the city of St. Louis quietly, but this always quietly. But as I said, this is very important to me, these baby boxes, and I sort of stepped out from behind the curtain, if you want to call it, to make this move and happen.
Okay, so what organization are you affiliated with?
I'm
Can you?
not, I'm with myself.
Uh-uh. Okay, that's
Welcome.
a good organization to have. Yes, yes, there you go. Okay, so does anybody have any questions for Ms. Connolly?
Well, I wanted Miss Conley to tell us about her foster and adoptive history.
Okay,
Yes, okay. Yes, ma'am. So I've recently, for the past 5 years, became a foster parent. I've also had my own a child naturally as well. I've been guardian. I've been pretty much everything. It was an experience that I was willing to take and loving to take. But I've also found out that it is not only just a benefit for the kids that I've taken in, it's also a benefit for the families as well as myself and my own family. Um, as many options that are out there and as many options that are being taken away, I look at it this way and forgive my maybe outspoken response to it, but this solution is better to have a child go into a secured box and erase the stigma that women would find or still have by coming face to face with somebody at a hospital or a police department or knocking on the door at a fire station, which unfortunately is resulting in children being placed in dumpsters, children being placed in alleys. Not only are we looking at the situation where a mother is placing a baby into a box for the reasons of they cannot care for it. In our society right now, with the rate and the issues that we have with overdoses, fentanyl, and drug use, a lot of mothers that I've actually encountered as well in the past worry about the fact that the children they're about to have will be taken away because they've already had children taken away from them because of them testing positive for any type of methamphetamines, fentanyl, heroin, or marijuana. So, in the example that I'm giving, these women are scared and will resort to placing their children in trash cans rather than taking them to hospitals, rather than taking them to a fire department or a police station where they have to go and make eye-to-eye contact and deal with somebody, having a question, or maybe they think that they will be looked upon differently. And unfortunately, with one of a situation that I had come in front of was a woman that I had assisted and helped last year with surrendering her child through the proper channels. She had already had 4 children taken out of her custody and put into the state custody, and she was worried about the drug charges that she might be facing. So fortunately, it was able to come to helm that a family member reached out for help, and we were able to figure something out to where it all came to a happy ending for the mother and the child. So there has to be other resources other than, if by chance what's being taken away, we have to add back to what can be given.
good comment. Powerful. And so the way our society is going today, I think it's a good piece of a toolbox to help our city, to help those ladies that are out there. Because I tell people, nobody wakes up in the morning wanting to be a drug addict or alcoholic. It's something they're bearing tremendously to keep from feeling that pain. And so sometimes a baby is born out of that. And that's good that we're going to offer out for those parents, for those mothers. So thank you, Elisa. I believe in what you're talking about. It's powerful. So Alderwoman Keys is back on you, sweetie.
So with all of this having been said, well, I'm sorry, I think, are the other alders supposed
I was
to?
going to say, do you all have any questions
There you
for
go.
Elisa?
No questions whatsoever. Thank you for your passion and devotion to this. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I just would really agree with what Alderwoman Boyd said about this being really important and understanding the conditions that people and babies are there for you. And so I would just echo that and thank you for your work.
Now Alderwoman Keys.
Okay, thank you all so much for being here, Michael and Alyssa. I really appreciate the passion that both of you have for this particular issue and bringing this to my attention. And so with that, I would ask this committee for a do pass recommendation.
Okay. I think Alderman Balmer says second.
Did someone make a motion first?
I said so moved.
Okay, so
Yeah.
moved. Okay, thank you. I didn't hear it. Second?
Previous roll. No objections to previous roll. Thank you, Alderwoman Keys. 232 has passed.
Okay. Thank you so much. I was looking in the attendees room. Were there other people that were supposed to speak?
I'm not showing any hands raised.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
just
didn't.
happened to glance over. I didn't, I wanted anybody that, wanted to say something to be given the opportunity. I completely forgot they were there.
Yeah, no, I saw
Yeah.
that too. There wasn't anybody who raised their hands. We
Hand,
were
okay.
paying attention. Yes, ma'am. All right. On that note, we thank you all for coming. We don't have any resolutions to review, any committee discussion. And
Are we
so
excusing Ms. Tyus or?
I
Ms.
was
Schweitzer?
on my way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Look, you know me, I got my agenda. I'm trying to follow this agenda now. And so we didn't have any written testimony, any announcements, and excuse Alderpersons or Alderwoman Tyus and Alderwoman Schweitzer. And so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, thank you all very much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
You too.